Is there any pro hockey players out of China? That's basically the story. The geography of where they're from, if you truly knew and rode here and grew up here, it's complete opposite of what you'd expect a pro snowboarder to come from.
People that kind of look at our story and they think, oh, there's probably so much adversity and everybody was telling you couldn't make it and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, there was no plan B. There's no other option. It's like, this is going to happen no matter what.
Passion overcomes everything because when you truthfully love something, it's hard to stop you from doing it, and it's hard to stop you from doing your best at it. I think coming from where we came from challenged us to open our minds, and we had no choice but to be creative. It doesn't matter what you're given, you do it because you don't have much. It makes you want something so much more.
We grew up without that traditional path or guys that went before us and became pro snowboarders from where we're from. You know, we didn't get that, but what we did get was a different set of skills from wakeboarding and skateboarding, and then also scratching tooth and nail to get on the snowboard as much as possible. I think that's what drove our passion. So we had to be creative, very innovative, and we just found different ways to do it. And I think we're continuing in our snowboarding to find different ways of kind of reaching that next step.
He was very innovative in the sense that he would mentally figure it out first in his brain because he didn't have the amenities of a foam pit to learn it. So if he didn't figure it out on his own Costco trampoline with his brother double bouncing him, he couldn't do it then. So that was the only location for him to try and train.
Our trampoline has been worn out 2 or 3 times because if they weren't on the water or on the snow, they were on the canvas. They were bouncing and just, you know, becoming comfortable with being upside down and spinning and all of that. But for them, they could do it when they wanted, how they wanted, and they didn't have to worry about conforming.
What really inspires us and got us to where we're at is doing different sports outside of snowboarding.
Mark is gonna try and go for a lot of air. Let's see if he can make it. I wanna do it once.
For me, starting skating first, I think helped a lot because a lot of the fundamentals are really similar. Once you become a skateboarder, you can never really throw it away. It's a lifestyle and you will always be learning, and even just the littlest new tricks really stoke me out. And sometimes to push myself on my snowboard, I need to put a lot of things at risk, and that isn't necessarily the same thing as skating. Skateboarding to snow, I think it translates a lot more for me. I think my style skating helped my style snowboarding a lot. When you go surfing, it doesn't matter what has happened in your day, you forget about everything. I get that same sort of giggly, jittery feeling I get when I'm riding in the backcountry in deep powder. When you're going surfing, you're dealing with a lot of different elements. Reef, tides, currents. It is a logistical nightmare. You know, a sport is hard when turning is a trick. I've been like surfing for 4 years and I'm just starting to get turns. With surfing, it's humbled me so much that it will tie into my snowboarding when if something doesn't come first try, yeah, it's the way of life. You need to battle it. Whenever anybody invents something, it's all about the trial and error. You need to try it to find out what's actually gonna happen. When you run something through your head that many times, you just picture it being a reality. So then that's when you go out and try it.
Mark McMorris invented tricks when he was 18 years old. He invented a triple cork. Nobody had ever done that on the history of the planet. He did a backside triple cork 1440. If you don't know what that is, that's 3 flips, 4 full rotations. And not only did he invent that, he brought that to snowboarding competition. And he has the ability to land it on demand.
Obviously a savage trick. It was such a big jump, something that people thought was impossible, and making it more possible. I don't care who you are, a guy's got to be a little scared to be throwing a triple on a daily basis.
The reason I want progression is the feeling it brings. It's addictive. It's what I search for in life, that feeling when you push yourself or push the limit of a sport. That's what I search for each and every day.
Yeah, I think people look to him and expect the sport to keep moving and moving, but I think people also sit back and say, can it go any further?
What's next for me, it's more or less a secret because I haven't planned anything. You can't necessarily plan innovation. You got to just let it happen. When everything's right, stuff happens.
What impresses me most about Mark is his ability to handle immense amounts of pressure. You know, when we're just screwing around on the hill, he's a good snowboarder. When it's last chance qualifier at the big show to make it to the finals, that's when he's great.
You can take pressure in 2 different ways. You can let it beat you down or you can fuel off of it, and I've just been really lucky to fuel off of it.
Definitely Mark McMorris thrives from pressure. He lives off it. He does better under pressure. Does he feel pressure? Absolutely. Yeah, it's win or lose, but for him it was just always having fun underneath it all.
Yeah, it's a job. Everything around it is a job, but still when you drop in, you're just snowboarding, and that's my favorite part. And it's almost like the pressure just goes away as soon as I'm snowboarding. Snowboarding will never become old because that is my passion.
The next 5 years, especially in Mark's snowboarding career, are probably going to be the scariest because he has so much pressure. He has done everything. It's all been a fairy tale. You know, the kid from Saskatchewan, you know, happy-go-lucky, good for him. He's at the top now. Where do you go?
The hard part for me to wrap my head around is it happened so fast for me, you know. Now I'm a role model for kids. It seems so crazy. That is my motivation, to inspire other people. The fact that I inspire people the way I was inspired growing up is a really, really good feeling. And I just hope I can do it for as long as I possibly can.